it's the year 876, and this place has been taken over by the Vikings. Now, we don't know where the Vikings exactly were in Wareham, and we don't really know what Wareham constituted precisely in 876. But according to Asser, they had the Vikings took over or developed a fort here, and we don't know where that fort was. The walls that you see here, they wouldn't have been here in 876, or at least we don't think they would have been here in 876. There's no evidence that Wareham had Roman walls, for example. These walls, which you can see here, go around most of the town, and they were almost certainly part of King Alfred's 878, or after the year 878, Burgle defence programme, where he defended towns around Wessex. And so these walls probably weren't here when the Vikings invaded in 876. But we know that later on, if we go forward to the Norman times, if we turn round, the Normans had a castle just down there on the left side of what remains of the wall there, and it may be that the castle that the Normans had was a suitable site for an earlier fort. So in the absence of other options, it's possible that the stronghold that the Vikings took over was where the Norman fort was down there. So I thought you'd like to see the view from the north section of the wall. What you see here is the river Piddle, what is referred to in the Anglo-Saxon chronicles as the Trent, and this wends its way further across into Dorset. These are what I call floodplains around Wareham, and if you go off in that direction, you come to Wimborne. You can see the walls going off in this direction, in an easterly direction, and we've just come along from that. So here we are down by the River Froome in Wareham, and you have to imagine that it's 875, and the Vikings are coming up in their ships. They're coming up this river, and they're disembarking around here. This is probably what happened, but we really got no evidence where they actually attacked from. But this river, the River Froome, flows out into Poole Harbour, and Poole Harbour flows out into the Channel. So it's quite likely that they would have come up into Poole Harbour and come up here and attacked here. The Norman fort was roughly over in that direction, so there might have been, if that was a handy defendable place before the Normans got there, they may have attacked or had their camp over there. But coming back now into the what is the very centre of Wareham, you can see this church over here. That's Lady St Mary Church, and there's evidence that there would have been a church there, not that one, but a predecessor church on that location in King Alfred's time. And we also know, because Asser tells us, that there would have been a monastery in Wareham, probably associated with that church. Now this was, from what I've read, it was probably more some people fitter than me. Some people.
Surely not.
There was. I might have to edit that bit out. There were. So there was a church. There was a monastery, but it was probably. I've read that it is more of a nunnery rather than a monastery. The words are sometimes quite confusing. It's an interesting church because they've actually got some pre-Anglo-Saxon bits of gravestone in there, so what you would call British. I keep going on about the site of the Norman castle, and that before the Normans went there might have been something else, and that might have been where the Viking set up their fort. Now the reason I keep saying this is because if you look, you can see it's on elevated ground. Elevated ground was always a good place to put some sort of defensive structure or camp on, and it's by a river. This is a common feature in lots of places, so that's why I think the Viking camp would have been there. No evidence to prove that at all, but it would fit. Here we are in Wareham at the location of what Asa described as the monastery. Could have been a nunnery. I think the word was used for both in those times, but the church behind me, Lady St Mary's Church, there's evidence that there was a church there at the time of King Alfred, and probably before that as well. And if we pan this way, you'll see that there's a hotel and restaurant that's actually called the Priory, which is interesting because it may well be on the site of the monastery described